This is a organized, systematic, devious, nefarious project by these elites. They want to rob us of our sovereignty, and they're creating a generation of Americans that, that will do what they're told, that won't stand up to authority. This is all about, unraveling the corruption and restoring the freedoms of our country and restoring self-sovereignty and also political sovereignty in the American people.
You need food to survive, but the wrong foods can also kill.
95% of the folks that make our nutrition guidelines are directly paid for by food companies, and we've gotten people addicted.
Have you ever wondered why chronic illnesses are skyrocketing, even though modern medicine is more advanced than ever? Could it be that the answer lies in the very food you eat every single day? In today's video, we're exposing Big Pharma's dirty secret and how it connects to the toxic food you consume daily. Obesity, diabetes, cancer. These conditions are no longer the exception. They're the rule. Over 40% of adults in the United States are obese. 1 in 3 people will develop cancer in their lifetime. And type 2 diabetes, it's an epidemic. But here's the question no one's asking. Who's really benefiting from this health crisis? Let's take a closer look at what's on your plate. Processed foods dominate grocery store shelves, packed with artificial flavors, preservatives, and chemicals you can't pronounce. Ever wonder why these ingredients are allowed in your food, even though many are banned in other countries?
One report estimates the number of chemicals approved for the use in U.S. food to be around 10,000 as of 2011. Nearly 5,300 FDA-approved additives and more than 4,600 GRAS substances. In comparison, their European Union has only approved over 400 additives and does not have a GRAS equivalent.
How do we account for that disparity, and how is it that some chemicals that are in our foods have long been banned elsewhere?
Different societies have different degrees of tolerance for uncertainty and different laws that determine what the regulators can do as substances are added. America's a country that likes individual choice and access in general. And I think our laws reflect that sort of national sentiment.
The FDA says it is committed to overseeing the safety of the food supply and takes action when new research shows an additive causes harm. The agency is working on updating its system for assessing food chemicals as part of a larger project to enhance food safety measures. The public will have input, and so will federal scientists working to understand how ultra-processed foods affect us.
The food industry and pharmaceutical companies aren't just connected, they're intertwined. Many of the corporations behind your favorite snacks have direct financial ties to Big Pharma. Here's the kicker. The very foods making you sick are fueling the profits of pharmaceutical companies that sell you the treatment.
There's a 3-step playbook working for the food companies. They hired all the scientists in the 1980s from the tobacco companies. The tobacco companies, as smoking went down, actually started buying Nabisco and Kraft and shifting their scientists over. The key thing that the food companies know is that ultra-processed food, which is now up to 70% of our diet, is a science experiment. They're hijacking our evolutionary biology, and they're making the food addictive.
In 2019, a whistleblower leaked documents revealing how one major processed food company secretly funded studies to downplay the dangers of sugar. Why? Because sugar is addictive, and addiction means profits, not just for food companies, but for pharmaceutical companies selling medications for diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. But this isn't just about sugar. Take high fructose corn syrup, trans fats, or MSG. Each of these ingredients has been linked to health problems, yet they remain staples in the American diet. Why? Because keeping you dependent on medication is far more profitable than keeping you healthy. Here's where it gets even darker. Studies have shown that many of these food additives don't just harm your body, they can alter your brain chemistry. From mood swings to cravings, these chemicals keep you coming back for more, feeding both the food and pharmaceutical industries.
We have allowed large corporations in the food and beverage industry to entice children to eat foods and beverages loaded up with sugar, salt, and saturated fat, purposely designed to be overeaten.
Senator Sanders is co-sponsoring a bill that would, in part, require the FDA to implement stronger health warning labels on foods, restrict junk food advertising to children, and direct the NIH to expand, intensify, and coordinate research programs on nutrition science, including on the chemicals self-affirmed by manufacturers as generally recognized as safe. Does the FDA have to play a bigger role in policing what makes it to market?
I think that's a great question, and I think the answer is yes. There are so many new additives every day. New products are coming onto the market with stuff that we are not aware of in terms of its long-term impact on human life. So I think, yes, I think the FDA has been negligent, and I think we want to make sure that they're more aggressive in reviewing the products that are getting onto the market now.
Well, and they say that it would take Congress to act.
Well, then I think Congress should act. But I think there is a growing awareness in the medical community and in the general public that we cannot continue to allow our kids to be addicted to processed foods, get sick, and die at an earlier age than they otherwise would. So the movement is with us. We're taking on very powerful special interests, but we're gaining every day.
This movement has not been an easy fight. At the heart of the food system lies a powerful force, lobbying by major agricultural and food corporations. These entities wield immense influence over policymakers, ensuring that government subsidies disproportionately benefit crops like corn, soy, and wheat, the backbone of processed and unhealthy foods. This lobbying creates a system where processed foods stay cheap. Crops used in making high fructose corn syrup, soy oil, and refined wheat are heavily subsidized, making junk food cheaper than fresh produce. Fruits, meat, and vegetables are neglected. Farmers growing healthier, less processed foods receive minimal financial support, driving up their market prices. The influence of political lobbying doesn't end with shaping subsidy policies. It extends into how these subsidized products are marketed to the public. Once processed foods flood the market at artificially low prices, advertising steps in to ensure they dominate consumer choices. This powerful combination of lobbying and advertising not only dictates what food is available, but also manipulates how it is perceived, targeting vulnerable groups like children and masking health risks behind misleading labels.
This is what a McDonald's ad looked like to a kid in the 1980s. And this is what it looks like in the 2020s.
Kids aren't just contending with ads on television programming anymore. They still see those, but it's also ads on social media, on YouTube, on their online learning platforms.
Influencer marketing has proven highly effective when it comes to junk food. One study found that kids who watched influencers with unhealthy snacks were more likely to eat an unhealthy snack soon after.
And the finger of blame can often be pointed at parents who don't care or don't know what makes up a good diet.
Historically, Americans believe parents are primarily responsible for feeding kids and feeding them healthy diets. But they're facing a multi-billion-dollar food advertising industry that isn't making it easy. A post-analysis found that from 2017 to 2022, advertisers spent $18 billion marketing food products, and the largest share was for fast food and candy.
If a child sees a commercial for something, they might take what the person or character in the commercial is saying as a statement of fact and not something that they're saying to try to get the child themselves to buy something or ask their parent to buy them something.
But here's the good news. You don't have to be a victim of this system. The power lies in your hands. Start by educating yourself. Knowledge is the ultimate defense against manipulation. Learn to decode the labels, spot the marketing tricks, and understand what truly goes into the food you consume. But don't stop there. Every small intentional decision you make sends ripples through the system. The next time you shop, ask yourself, am I supporting the very machine I want to escape? Take it a step further. Talk to your friends, share what you've learned, and challenge others to look closer at their choices. This fight isn't just personal. It's collective. Imagine a world where we hold corporations accountable, demand transparency, and make them fear the informed consumer. That's the future we can build.